Welcome to Season 4 of She Lancer, Mom Entrepreneur with VoiceOver Angela. I'm your host, Angela. I'm a full-time voiceover artist and audiobook narrator, and this podcast are the audio versions of my live Q&A chats on YouTube. If you'd like to be part of the live Q&A chats, come on over to my YouTube channel, VoiceOver Angela. I'm live every Tuesday at 12 p.m. EST. We talk about voiceover, the business of voiceover, audiobooks, and so much more. Find more information on my website, voiceoverangela.com. Enjoy today's episode. Thank you for joining me again for another live community session here on my channel, VoiceOver Angela. If you're new here, welcome. My channel is dedicated to those of you that are just getting started out in this wonderful world of voiceover and audiobook narration. I forgot to mention who I am Angela. And if you are new, thank you so much for joining. We appreciate you. If you're not new here, then you know that every week we have a new poll. And this question, of course, my topics always come up from recent conversations or recent questions that I get. So keep them coming. I mean, these are things that we need to talk about, right? So today's poll is basically casting sites do's and don'ts based on the experiences that I have had. As you may or may not know, I got started in this business in summer of 2018. So I've been doing this for a while, and a lot of my work has been on or through casting sites. I do have direct clients too, but especially in the beginning, most of what I have done or have done, past tense, has been from casting sites. So let's talk today about the things that I have discovered that you should do and what you shouldn't do. And these are changing all the time, right? Sites update and things that you could do once, you can't do now. But we'll talk about that. But today's poll, to start the conversation off, just to get an idea of where everybody that is watching, where you guys are, so I know sort of how to tailor my conversation today, is how many casting sites are you on? And I've mentioned many times that there are a lot of them. And the casting sites is just an umbrella term for, the pay-to-plays, for the freelance websites, for the freelance platforms like Fiverr, Upwork, Freelancer Guru. And then there's the pay-to-plays like Voquent, Voices.com, Voice123, Badalgo, so on and so forth. There's a lot of them. So I wanted to know, how many sites are you on? How many casting sites, online platforms in which you find work? So it looks like we have 24 votes so far, and it looks like 38% of you said none yet. So this will be a good conversation for you before you sign up, so you'll know right off the bat what to do and maybe what not to do. And we'll talk about all sorts of things. 44% of you said 1 to 3, and which is kind of where I thought it might be. And 12% of you said 4 to 7, and 8% of you said 8 to plus. I'm in the a few years ago I was in the 8. Well, maybe I still am. I think I have a free profile on quite a few. But as far as being active, even if you're on a bunch and you have like a free profile and you're just active on a couple, I guess that would apply. So 44% of you said 1 to 3. And I think that's pretty typical, I think, because as we go along, we tend to find out which ones we work better on or find more work on, that we just like working on more than others. So I would say probably 1 to 3 for me. I'm on quite a few, but I think I'm active on 1 to 3. I think that would be my answer. And I don't know, I look kind of blue today. I don't know what's going on with my camera. The technology, me and technology don't get along. Anywho, let's start out with a few comments and see if some of the things that I wanted to talk about today are within the comments. And if you have questions about really anything that has to do with casting sites, if I can answer your question, I definitely would. So if you have a question, please put it in the comments, or even insight, something that maybe you have done or shouldn't have done, right? Let's try to help out as many as we can with today's conversation about casting sites, do's and don'ts. So who is first in today? Dylan. Hi, Dylan. Good morning, Dylan. Good morning, all. I'm active on ACX. ACX does count as a casting site. Thank you. Fiverr and Upwork. I don't have the money to put into the P2P sites. P2P stands for pay to play, and haven't heard great things about them for beginners. I can tell you that the pay to plays, and we call them pay to plays for those of you that are unfamiliar with the term, is because in order to play, meaning find or get work, is you have to pay. Again, breaking that down further, a lot of these sites like voices.com, Voice123 will allow you, I think the majority of them will allow you to have a free profile on their site in which clients can listen through your demos and send you an invitation to audition. But you can't audition, you can't be proactive about finding work. You can't go and audition for work unless you're a paying member. And some of the sites will charge you a quarterly fee, a biannual fee, an annual fee, a monthly fee, and then some will even, on top of whatever recurring fee you have, they'll even charge you a percentage of the order, right? They'll even take 20% of what you make from each order. So again, I'm always a big advocate for you guys and telling you, just wherever you do sign up to find work, make sure that you're reading the terms of service and that you understand how you get paid and how the site gets paid, because everybody gets their piece. It's just the cost of doing business. So you have to decide which site is the one for you and understand that you're going to be charged, or so on and so forth. So, but the places to start out that are relatively low cost are places like ACX, Fiverr, and Upwork. Because ACX is the arm of Amazon where authors or publishers and narrators come together to create audiobooks for Audible. That's what ACX is. So if you are wanting to be an audiobook narrator, that is a place where you can actively search for titles that are looking for narrators, and then you can audition for those titles. And you can also post samples on your profile, and narrators or authors or publishers can search for narrators that way too. So there's two ways to find work on ACX. And that costs you nothing other than your studio fees, right? The setup fees, the equipment, things like that. But the site doesn't ask you for anything. Not that I'm aware of. Yeah, I don't think they do. I've never been asked for it. But anyway, I'm just trying to pump the brakes on the tangent before it starts. Fiverr will it's free to sign up. It's free to create gigs and things, but you can't audition. You can't audition on Fiverr. You have to wait for people to find your gigs. And that's where things get interesting with Fiverr, because you have to make an eye-catching gig to get somebody's attention, use keywords and things like that. You have to play to the algorithm, but you can't audition. They take 20% of each order that you complete, right? Every job that you do. Upwork is kind of the same, but a little bit different. Upwork has a little bit of a different structure. They will take some clients, they'll take 10%, some they'll take 20%. And then there's also the option to be in like a premium sort of a membership with them, where it's a monthly recurring like $15 fee. But there's also in-game currency, I like to call it, what they call connects on Upwork, that you use to bid on jobs. So it's structured a little bit differently. So those are the ones that usually people will start out on first. There's a lot of competition on all of those sites. There's a lot of competition there. And it can be a little bit intimidating and overwhelming for someone just signing up there. But to Dylan's point, the pay to plays, again, those are the sites where you're paying. And I'm not talking, $15 a month. I'm talking $600 a year, $400 a year, things like that. It's big money. So the people on those sites are probably, they're established voice actors that have income coming in that can afford to pay that annual fee. So there's a lot of competition there with talented, established voice artists. On places like Fiverr and Upwork, there's a lot of people there too, but you have to keep in mind that a lot of people want to maybe start doing something and then they discover it's not for them, but don't take down their profile. So Fiverr and Upwork are going to show active freelancers, a big number of them, but not all of them are active, right? So just keep that in mind. And there are a lot of big businesses, and don't discount these sites at all. There are a lot of big companies that use Fiverr and Upwork for various things, including voiceover. And there's a lot of indie authors, first time, book writers that are wanting to get into the audiobook space with their book, finding narrators on Fiverr as well, and Upwork. So there's a little bit more of variance there in terms of clients. So Fiverr and Upwork, I feel the tangents coming. I'm trying to pump the brakes a little bit, but Fiverr and Upwork is a good place to start in closer to the beginning, right? To sort of get a foundation built in your own business. But I would agree. I would think once you start to get some experience under your belt, and then this will also get you used to responding to clients. And we did this a couple of weeks ago. Was it last week? Of the global clients? Get you used to talking to clients from all over the world, right? Because you'll see probably a bigger influx of global international clients on places like Fiverr and Upwork than you would on voices.com. I'm not saying that wouldn't happen, but a tangent, I'm telling you, stop it. Stop it. I can feel it. But okay, for those reasons, I think those are good sites. But I see your point, Dylan, is you have to be, they cost a lot more. They cost a lot more money, the pay to plays do, to get started. I hope I answered the question. I could feel my brain wanting to go 50 different directions with that. Trying to reel myself in. Okay, Glowin's here. Hi, Glowin. How you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for Caesar. Yeah, hope you're all having a good day. So far, so good. It's sprinkling here in the desert. I like it. I like it a lot. Glowin says, I'm only active on one site, ACX, as it's a good site for us beginners. It can be. Absolutely, it can be. Glowin says, all arrive and cast your vote. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. If I can't even say it, subscribe if you haven't already. It's good for my algorithm. It is. I appreciate you. Thank you, Glowin. But don't literally smash it. Just use your mouse and click like. I appreciate that. Dylan says, I'm not smashing it. I just got a new phone, but I will gingerly press it. Yes, please. I think that's better. Miriam's here. Hello, Miriam. Hello, all. Great to see everyone. Yes, thank you, everyone who takes the time to hop in here and have conversations. Thank you. I appreciate it. Jamie Rod is here. Hello. To everyone here today. I thought I had missed it. Nope. We're here. Pamela says, happiest of holidays to all. That's right. Christmas is less than a week away. Week from yesterday. Holy Moses. FYI, poll still not showing up on cell phone. An empty template shows up, but no worries. That's interesting. Interessante, I say. I wonder why it's doing that. But it looks like they updated something because something's a little bit different on there today. Eric's here. Good morning, Eric. Good morning. Active is an interesting term. I'm glad you caught that. Active. Yes. How many sites are you active on? I'm signed up for 4 or 5, but as far as active, maybe only 2. And that's pretty much how it goes, right? Because again, you can have free profiles on places like, I think you still can have Voices 123 and then voice.com. You can have free profiles, but again, you can't audition until you're a paying member. So you're not really active. You're just sort of passively there, right? I'm glad you caught that. Smarter than the average bear, Eric. Ton of questions. Podcast says, hello, everyone. So happy to be here. Well, we're happy to have you. I've listened to so many previously recorded live chats, but this will be my first VoiceOver Angela live chat. Woohoo. Yay. Thank you for watching the old ones too. I hope they don't get overlooked because I think even though it's not like a concise, small snippet video like I think we normally look for on YouTube, I think there's a lot of great information, I'm not saying that I'm giving great, but the conversations that we have every week there's nuggets in each one of them. People bring up great points and great insight into each one of these. And that's why I do this, because it's not just my perspective, it's yours. And all of it can help anybody watching if they're looking for something, regarding that subject. So I'm so glad they helped. I'm so glad they helped. Thanks for being here. We're glad to have you. Facebook user, this is Colette. Hello, Colette. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Mary HP says, good morning, Angela and everyone. I'm active on 4 sites and hit 2 hardest. Which 2? Please share. Which 2 are you hitting the hardest? Caesar is here. Morning, Caesar, darling. Happy holidays, everyone. So many blessings this year. You've had a big year. You've had a big year, Caesar. My studio, my microphones, plural, microphones, and a teal-colored Grace Sloan Memorial Hospital t-shirt. 6 days before Christmas, and I still need to deck my halls with boughs of holly. Fa la 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 la. I was hoping you guys followed along with me. You fa la 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 along with me. Ton of questions podcast says, same for me as Pamela. Poll box shows, but no words. That is interesting. Very weird. Very weird. I wonder why that's doing that. I wish I could do something about it. I can't. It's, I can see it on my desktop, but I don't know why. Hopefully YouTube will get that sorted. That guy with the voice says, good morning. I'm on Fiverr and Voices. I've been able to make back my investment in Voices, but not much more. And it takes a little bit of time. Don't get discouraged. You actually brought up a great point, and something that I was hoping would come up today is that, and I know this is really easy to get discouraged about, because especially if this is something that you've always wanted to do, if this is something that really speaks to you and your heart is in it and you're all in, right? You got the equipment, you invested in everything, you got the training, you're ready to go. And then you sign up on all these sites looking to get some work so you can pay for all the things that you just stocked your studio with, right? And all the training that you just had. And nothing's really happening, or maybe just a little bit, or maybe a little bit, but then nothing, right? Just please keep in mind that this is a sales business. Not only that, but your voice isn't going to be perfect for everything. Your voice is going to be perfect for a lot of things, but it's the client's perspective on what your voice is, if your voice is suited for their project or not. Even though you could be the perfect voice in your mind, or even my mind, for something, it's ultimately up to the client to choose if your voice is good for that particular project. So you have to keep going. And when I say it's a sales business, it is. Audition, audition, audition. It's just like marketing for any other business. You're marketing yourself with each audition. And if you get somewhere between a 5 to 10% return, then that's pretty normal for any kind of sales business, right? Roughly. That's a good return on your investment of auditioning. And there's going to be fantastic months, and there's going to be not so fantastic months. This is a business. It's not going to be consistent income all the time. It's going to be great months, and there's going to be not so great months. But you have to stick with it. If your heart is in this and you're in it to win it, then you have to take the good with the bad. But don't give up. Keep going. Keep auditioning. Keep revising your demos, making them better. Get the training, get the education. Just keep going. Keep investing in yourself and in your business. But don't give in. Don't give up. Just keep going. Because you'll start to see some like repeat clients and repeat business, and then referrals, and then it starts to grow. You have to stick with it. You don't want to give up today if tomorrow was the day that you got your big break, right? You have to keep going. You have to keep going. MG Stevens is here. Good morning, MG. Good morning, Angela and everyone. Happy to get to join this morning. Happy that you're here. Most active on one site, bites at times from a couple of others. That's typically how it goes for me too. Like I'll have Um, I think as far as casting sites goes, most of what I get is from Fiverr, just to be fair. But a lot of that is the podcast editing work that I do. I have, um, I get a couple things here and there from Upwork. A lot of my clients are direct. A lot of my clients find me on YouTube, believe it or not. So social media, I'm always saying social media. I mean, get out there and do it. I'm not on every platform like I should be. I don't post as much content, regrettably, as I should. But, YouTube or social media, don't overlook it. That's a great place to find clients as well. But don't rely on just one site or another. You want to be, I guess, active or actively auditioning on many of them. And that includes even the pay to plays at some point. Because my concern is if you're just focusing all your time and energy on one site and something happens to that site, then what? Right? Don't put all of your eggs in just one basket or even just two baskets. Have lots of baskets with lots of eggs in them. And that includes marketing yourself, being on social media, cold calling and emailing, directly connecting with people that may need your services. Don't just sit and rely on casting sites. They are good for supplemental income or for, testing things out to see if this is something that you want to do. But if you're serious about this, don't have just one or two baskets, have many baskets with lots of eggs in them. But that's usually how it goes. Like you'll have one site that you do really, really well on and then a couple of others, but then you want to have other streams of income as well. Masonry Construction says, Merry Christmas all. Merry Christmas. I had a great voice actor experience on Sunday, narrating our church's Christmas program with choir, orchestra, and soloists. Fabulous. That sounds amazing. Recommend those live opportunities for all of us. Yes, live opportunities are good opportunities too. Especially if they introduce you as, or if they mention that you are a voice actor or something like that, or that you're singing. I can't tell you how many times I've been asked if I sing for a voiceover project. So if you can, that's definitely something that you want to highlight, that you can do both for sure. That's great. And to have business cards or at least a website. So if someone comes up to you afterwards and says, hey, how can I reach you? Give them a business card or refer them to your website. Another great reason to have one. Brittany Beck says, good morning, Brittany. I can't get into the poll, but I'm only on ACX and direct marketing right now. Good. I didn't want to pay for a membership that I wouldn't have time to utilize yet, like the gym. At least you're honest. I'm thinking in my own head, I don't have a gym membership because I know I won't go. And I should, but I don't. So I get it. Save that for down the road if you want to, but at the very least, have a free profile on it, on those sites, because they will allow you to. And that shows up when your name is Googled, right? So if, for example, if someone were to find you on ACX, and I've had this happen many, many times, if someone were to find your name as a narrator on ACX, and increasingly more and more people are Googling other people to make sure they're an actual person, that they're not a scammer. The things that we do to people before we engage with them is the same thing our clients do to us. So if someone were to Google your name and they see that you have profiles on voices.com, Voice123, all of these voiceover casting sites, that tells them that, hey, that you've taken the time, you're legit, you're established, you are who you say you are. So it just makes you look more credible, right? So I would definitely do that. But you don't have to pay for the memberships just yet. If it comes a time that you do, you're already there. So all you would need to do is maybe refresh your demos, refresh your headshot, refresh your bio. Boom. And everything else is pretty much done. Right? Brian Mark Mitchell is here. Hello, Brian. Good morning. ACX. That's good. It's a good start. Writer Dude says, good morning. Merry Christmas, everyone. Yes, yes, yes. Ton of Questions podcast says, Anthony here. Hello, Anthony. Been around tech forever, but very new to voice audio recording stuff. I think having any kind of background in anything techie is going to give you a little bit of a leg up because it can be very techie, especially when it comes to, understanding the lingo, the verbiage, the words used, I think sometimes, and trying to hook things up and, how things work in harmony with each other. Good God, frog, go away. So I think having a techie background is definitely gonna help you in that respect. I just had something else that was in my head waving at me to say, but I'm sure it'll come back to me. We will eventually get into, dang it, other things that I think you shouldn't do. I was hoping that someone would ask, but I think, let's take one more question. That guy with a voice says, how often are people actually sought out when they're on a free profile, though? In my experience, not very often. Because if you think about it, let's take either voices123 or voices.com, voice123 or voices.com. Let's take either of those. There are tiered memberships on those sites. So obviously, the more you're paying as a paid member, the sooner you're going to see the job to audition for. So if a client, submits a job, they're going to get a ton of auditions from the top tier people. And then the job is then released to audition for the middle tier people, and then so on and so forth. So I don't know how often someone's going to want to go and take the time to go search for themselves when they could just post the job and then the website does the rest with soliciting the voice actors that are enrolled on it. So in my experience, not very often do people find you on a free profile. So that's why I say the pay to plays, I would wait until a little bit later to be on those, to pay to be a member for those until you're a little bit more established and, but not very often in my experience. Okay, so let's I'm going to keep that question up so I can remember where I'm at. But one of the things that I wanted to touch upon as far as do's and don'ts, and I think this goes across pretty much most of the freelance marketplaces where there's a lot of people that can just sign up. There's no paywall to get onto. If someone was to reach out to you on, let's just say, for example, Fiverr, Upwork, some of those where there's no membership to sign up for, if someone sends you a script or a link to something, don't click the link. If they're reaching out to you and they're saying, hey, I have this project, click the link to learn more, don't click the link. Ask them to copy and paste the script or the instructions or whatever it is that they have, or even upload a document, because 9 times out of 10, you can even view that document within the site itself and you don't have to download it. Because there's been so many times when I've seen, unfortunately, and they're everywhere, you just have to be smart about what you're doing for your business, where scammers will, put a link that's got, here, click this for this great opportunity. Here's a $2,000 project. Click the link to learn more. They're going to bait you with something that's unbelievably awesome to get you to click the link. And then the link's got viruses or malware or something in it. But this pretty much goes across the board with email, really anything. Just don't click links until you get to know this person, right? Another thing I wanted to mention, if we're talking about, again, Fiverr and Upwork, places like that, where they have spent millions of dollars marketing to people to get them to come to their site, to use the freelancers on their platform, they don't want you to take business off the platform. So when someone's messaging you, same kind of thing, where they reach out to you, let's just say, for example, Fiverr, they were to send you a message in your inbox and they say, hey, I really love your voice, but I don't want to work on this platform. I would like to work off this platform. Can you please share your email address or even can you send a quote to my email address? And then they'll give you the email address. However it's presented, just know that on those sites, you are not allowed to share personal contact details or a link to your website, any kind of link or information that will take them directly to you, or vice versa, take you directly to them. It's against the terms of service, and you could get not only a violation, but you could also get banned from the site. So whenever somebody approaches me in a message on any of these sites and they ask for my email address, or they want me to contact them on Slack or somewhere else, WhatsApp, whatever it is, it has to stay on the site. So my response is always, due to this site's terms of service, we cannot share personal contact information. We must keep our conversations here. And just know that they do filter those conversations. And I'm sure you've probably seen something when you put in @ or .com or something. They'll Fiverr, for example, will say, hey, just be sure you're not sharing personal contact information. So the messages are filtered, and they will be looking for that kind of thing. So don't chance it. There isn't anything they can't share with you through the platform itself. So just ask them to do it that way. And I know it's kind of a pain, and some clients don't really like the extra effort, having to do the extra effort, but it's in the best interest of both of you, and it's in the terms of service that you both agreed to abide by. So, those are things that I would definitely watch out for. What else? Am I missing something? I think it used to also be on places like Fiverr and Upwork that you weren't allowed to use your full name, but I think that has changed. If you think of something else, if I'm missing something, please let me know. All right, let's get back to the questions. Oh, that's right. Payments, right? Hang on. Let's take a couple questions, then we'll get into payments. Ton of Questions podcast says, only active on ACX for now, other than a new podcast started in October. And a podcast is a great thing to do. That is a way of social media marketing, podcasting. Just make it known that you're also a voice actor on your podcast, so they can hear your voice and go, that's exactly what I need, right? For my project, I'm going to reach out to them. Don't love the tangents. Don't encourage the tangents. Jonathan B says, morning, everyone. Morning, Jonathan. Thanks again for the great content, tips, and tangents. Should we call this voiceover chat tips and tangents? Oh my God. Okay. While we're on the topic of payments, because I don't want to forget to mention it. I would say even before you sign up on these, any kind of casting website, any kind of casting site, have a way to invoice people. Because there will be times where you will need to, right? On some of the pay-to-plays, you'll need to send an invoice. On ACX, if it's a per finished hour book, you'll need to invoice. Direct marketing clients, you'll need to invoice. So again, places to invoice or to be able to invoice. You can invoice with QuickBooks. You can invoice with, is it Wave? I always forget that one. Is it wave.com? There's PayPal Business, which I use and love. There's a handful of others that you can invoice on. I think even like Honeybook. I think we talked about that last week. Honeybook has their own invoicing. Have a way to invoice clients. That way, when you're asked to invoice or when you need to invoice, you can do it right away and get that job done, right? Also, knowing if you need to invoice, it comes with reading the terms of service and the agreements and all of the information before signing up for the site anyway, so you're prepared in how to secure payment. Because some sites will hold funds in escrow once a job is started and then release the funds to you once the client is happy and the order is completed. And in other sites, you need to actually invoice the customer. You need to send them an invoice, which they in turn pay. Now, this ACX particularly confuses people because there's two ways to get paid on ACX. There's per finished hour, where you need to invoice the client, and I highly recommend getting 50% upfront of the audiobook, the whole fee, right? And then there's the royalty share. The royalty share is what Audible collects for you, and then they distribute to your bank account or send you a check, whichever way you decide to go, every month. Every book that you sell, you get 20% of that sale price. And then they hold all of that together for, and then release that payment to you every month. So that's why they ask for your banking information. But if it's a per finished hour book, then you'll need to invoice them. I get that question a lot. I feel like I'm all over the place today. I apologize for that. Oh, we got a super chat. Hold on. I'm coming, Jonathan. Oh, thank you very much, Jonathan. A tip for the tangents. Thank you. I appreciate you. You're supporting my coffee habit. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You guys are so sweet. But of course, in doing that, I lost my spot. Hold on. I'm scrolling. Oh my gosh. Okay. Is this where we left off? Okay. I think we're here now. Okay. Facebook user. This is Dave Moxley. Good morning, Dave. How are you? Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Jonathan then says, any suggestions for a best value for P2P? Ooh, good question. If throwing a few $100 somewhere might help boost an absolute beginner. I have to say I like Voice 123. I like Voice 123. And not everybody's going to agree with me, because everybody's got different preferences. Everybody's got different opinions on different things. And I think everybody's return on one site over another is going to be different. So my preference very well may not be yours or someone else's. So just take that with a grain of salt. But Voice 123, I think, is my favorite. There's also Voquent, but there's you can't audition with Voquent. You just have to wait for someone to find you. Getting sidetracked. Voice 123, I think, is my favorite. Facebook user, this is Colette, says monsoon season in the desert was my favorite. We didn't have much of a monsoon this year. It was very lackluster. Joy is here. Hi, Joy. You bring joy to my face, Joy. Good morning, Angela and company from a cold Southfield, Michigan. I just recently signed on with Backstage. Good for you. They had a good Black Friday deal and I went for it. Yeah, they usually do every year. They usually have a pretty good deal. What was it, like $50 or something for the year? It's pretty good. Miriam says, hi, Angela. Which P2P do you feel are better than others regarding putting money into it? It sort of piggybacks off of Jonathan's. I would say check them all out, because I was on Bidalgo for a while. I just turned that one off because I'm not putting that much effort into some of these casting sites. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just leave my profile as free and just focus on the ones that I like and I like to work on. So right now my focus is on Voice 123 and direct clients mainly. And then, of course, there's Fiverr from my podcast clients, a lot of my podcast clients. Facebook user says, hi, Pam. We've had some solar flares, which always messes up computers. This is Colette. Solar flares. Yeah, we did have a few of those this year, didn't we? Rafael Botello, did I say that right? Says, hey, Angela, any tips on landing my first gig on Voices? I've sent about 20 auditions, but no success yet. It's hard to say because it's sort of it's not quite a loaded question, but it could be many different factors. I mean, it's really hard to say. I would say only audition for what is your closest match to start. And then again, even then, it's up to the client to decide whether or not your voice is the right fit for the project. Or it could very well be that maybe there's something going on with your audio quality that you don't realize is there. right? Because we get accustomed to the sound of our own voice in our own studio. We might not realize that there's an echo. We might not realize that it sounds boxy. We might not realize that maybe we're putting on too much noise reducer and we sound tinny. Maybe it could be audio quality. It could be that you just, for those 20 clients, that you just weren't the voice they were looking for. I mean, it could be many different variables. So I would say just keep going. I know some people that have done, 90 auditions before they saw a job. I saw one person who did 3 auditions and got 2 jobs. So it's really, really hard to say, but I would say just keep going. I would just keep going. Don't stop. Don't get discouraged after 20 auditions. Just keep going. Just keep going until you cross paths with that client that is looking for your voice. Keep going. Ton of Questions podcast says, agreed. Older episodes have great stuff. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate you. Facebook user, this is Colette, says, do a Charlie Brown Christmas tree and move on, Caesar. Hey, that works, right? Chrissy Sells is here. Good morning, Chrissy. Good morning. I'm active on ACX and Fiverr. Good. Bear338 says, hello, Angela. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Bear338. JCC AOL is here. Have a great holiday, everyone. Angela, have you done any Christmas stories, whether horror or otherwise? Horror Christmas stories? Wow. No. But light bulbs are going off in my head. That sounds like a great podcast or a YouTube series. Just an idea. Have I done any? No, most of what I do is educational content. So not so much stories or sleep stories. I do a lot of meditation type things. But I'd like to get into some horror stories. I should do that. Yeah, we should totally do that. Caleb voiceover says, good morning, all. Happy holidays, Angela. Happy holidays to you. You brought up a great point about YouTube. What do you think about the rise of TikTok, Book Talk, and marketing there? I say do it. I know there is somebody that I mentored way back, like in the very first couple days of her endeavor or her journey into audiobook narration a long time ago. Oh, maybe a couple years ago now, a year or two ago, relatively short period of time. She got all the gear. I helped her get her studio dialed in, and she got onto TikTok, and now she's like, I just heard her the other day getting possibly signed with a publisher. TikTok. Don't overlook TikTok. There's a lot of publishers, indie authors. I mean, the exposure there is unreal. Don't underestimate TikTok. Do it. I need to do it too. I need to do some stuff on TikTok. Usually they're looking at other people. Do it. Glowin says, I've almost given up even before I've got started. I hope you don't, Glowin. You have an amazing voice. Angela's Thursday Night Platinum group has kept me encouraged and keep going. Good. The struggle with gear and editing has been tough. It is tough. That is a tough part of getting this all set up. It was for me anyway. And for most people that I talk to, it's one of the toughest parts. So don't get discouraged. It's tough for everybody. Well, most everybody. Some are, technically inclined and maybe have some prior experience that helps them. But for the most of us, it's pretty difficult and intimidating, and it's frustrating. But you do get past it. It's temporary. It's a temporary phase. You eventually will get past it and move forward. So don't let that discourage you. And I'm glad that it didn't. I'm glad we got you through it, Glowin. Glad we got you through it. Mary HP says, the 2 I hit the hardest are Voices 1, 2, 3 and Upwork. Honestly, the past 2 months have been so crazy. I've been just trying to keep up with these 2. Nice. Have a plan for end of year and next. Nice. Well done, Mary. Good for you. Andy B says, hello, still out there. Hello, Andy B. How are you? Haven't seen you in a while. Caesar says, we've all had different struggles. We're glad you didn't give up, Glowin. You have a delicious set of pipes on you. You do. Last couple of Thursday Lives have shown that. Absolutely. Agreed. Brittany Beck says to Caleb Voiceover, I booked a 17-hour audiobook with potential to do the full series off Instagram and TikTok or TikTok. Either? Both? So I'd say it works well. It does. Absolutely. I'm telling you. The little snippet videos, that's where everybody's looking or either getting information, seeking distraction or entertainment, right? Is on these sites that have the short videos, the stories, I'm blanking, but all every social media platform that has the little short videos on it. TikTok, YouTube Shorts. Do them. JCC AOL says, I was just listening to Vio's journey the other week, and for the 2024, he recommended for work. Were you cut off? I'm not sure what you mean, JCC AOL. He recommended for work. Joey West says, I'm on 4 sites and active on 3, especially the P2Ps, because I want to work on getting ROI first and foremost, of course, but you might not see it right away. Not just you, Joy, but anybody on a pay-to-play. They take time. Some of them take more time than others because, again, depends on the level of experience, the level of just how many other voice actors are paying at a higher membership tier, right? So you have to keep at it and keep going and keep trying. And ROI, and I've seen it across the board in terms of return of investment in all aspects with lots of different people. Like, it blows my mind that some people just not some people, but there have been a couple people where I've met that I've worked with, mentees of mine, who literally decided that, okay, this is what I want to do. What do I need to do to get started, right? So I help them get started. And then within a couple of weeks, they're on voices.com or Voice123 and have a booked job within like a week or two. It just blows my mind. And then some other people do all the work and they're on voices.com and still yet haven't had a job yet. So it's varied. There's so many different variables. And it's hard to say what the exact secret sauce is other than stay consistent and stay with it, right? Not to give up. Just keep going. Glowen says, thanks to Caesar. Appreciate that. Dylan says, very glad, Glowen. The Platinum Group is amazing. They are. And they've saved me tons of time and taught me more than I thought I could learn in such a short time. Plus, the people are pretty darn cool. I think they are too. Family. JCC AOL says, hi, Angela. What do you think of direct niche marketing? Would you recommend it for a beginner? I think I did see Anthony had a video not too long ago about direct niche marketing. And that means in the wide world of voiceover, picking something that is very specific. For example, if you do mostly like long form narration, much like I do, and then decide to just zero in on just medical narration. Niche, right? Very small window. I think that's a good strategy. I think, excuse me, not just for 2024. What is it with the frog today? Not just for 2024 or for beginners, but for everybody. I think that's a good strategy to have. Maybe not all of your efforts in that laser focused niche marketing, but I think basically what he's saying is to not be just a master of all trades, right? Zero in on becoming a master of just this one particular niche, owning it, right? Getting to know the people involved in making just that content, making yourself the name associated with doing that content. There's something to be said for that. But I think it's also good to be flexible in doing other types of voiceover too. So I can see the benefit in having both, right? Having like a broad umbrella of offerings of voiceover, and then maybe focusing a little bit more of your time on just a direct niche market. I think that makes sense. I think that's a great idea for any experience level. Caesar says this year I've squashed a good number of challenges: room treatment, noise control, janky gear, DAW expertise, weak sauce laptop, imposter syndrome, and punishing self doubt. And imposter syndrome doesn't always completely go away. I still experience it from time to time. I think we all do. I think it's just part of being human, unfortunately. But it's how you react to it. You can't let it get its claws into you. You can't do it. You just gotta remind yourself of everything that you've done. Remind yourself of where you started and how far you've come. Don't let imposter syndrome get the better of you. Never let fear decide your fate. Caleb voiceover says to Brittany Beck, fantastic. Glowen Sue Dylan says, yes, they are. The feedback on a cold read or the monthly assignments, they've really helped. And yeah, they're pretty cool and fun. This week we're doing What's My Voice? And that's fun. I'm still working on the characters right now. Actually, right before I came on the live, I was working on our characters. It's basically going to be images and then descriptions and then dialogue, and we have to come up with voices for these cartoon animated characters. So this will be good for animation and video game narration. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and it'll be surprising how many different kinds of voices would fit. Right? Don't let me get off on a tangent now. I'm here to do the show. JCC AOL says, I finally finished the first draft of my book. So while editing, I will work on the audiobook as well. Abby Emmons, a great channel for writing, did this for her novels. Very inspiring. Awesome. I love great YouTube channels where people just share information. Not just like, spitting out content, but actually, genuinely sharing useful information because they want to. I love that. Caesar says, the final ingredient for a successful voiceover career, I've come to realize, is actual physical health. Yes, being an excellent VO actually involves plenty of exercise and maintenance, and good sleep, and hydration. Caleb to Caesar says, all those steps build up quick. MG Stevens says, can I share my excitement? Absolutely. I just now got my first rating on ACX, 5 stars. Yay. It's all the small stuff, guys. Thanks for letting me share. Of course. Celebrate that. Celebrate everything. Doesn't matter what it is. Celebrate it. It's a step forward. Masonry Construction says Fiverr and Upwork can suspend your account if you go off platform. Yes, but both of those have messaging platforms that make it simple. Absolutely. Glowen to MG Stevens says, that's awesome news. Congrats. Caesar says to Caleb, they do, don't they? One thing's for certain is that VO isn't a get-rich-quick. It is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is absolutely not. So many people, my family included, think it's as easy as buying a mic and talking into it. There's a lot more to it, isn't there? David Horn, good morning, David. Good to see you. Good morning, Angela. Caesar says, that is splendid, MG Stevens. You rock. Brian says, what if there are lots of narrators with your name? If there are a lot of narrators with your name, then you might need to, or if we're talking about like ACX, all you can really do is either go by a stage name or include your middle initial, or that's difficult. That's not fun. And in your case, I know exactly what you're talking about, because I think when you and I looked at your ACX profile, I actually came across, I think there was at least 2 that had the same name as you. So that's hard. That's a tough situation to be in, but using a middle initial or even a stage name is probably going to be the only other way, or like a moniker, but that's the same as a stage name, right? Pseudonym. MG Stevens says, thanks to Glowen, and thank you to Caesar. A ton of questions says, love it. Voiceover Angela, tips and tangents. That's it. I'm changing it. Caleb says to MG Stevens, it's great. MG Stevens says, thanks, Caleb. Old Slacker says, working on my first audiobook contract, learning a lot about Audacity, especially how much I don't like audio editing. I don't love it either. I know a few people who do love it. And I think for you that do love it, if you don't have anything to edit and you love it, offer it as a service on Fiverr and Upwork, because there's a lot of us that hate it, don't understand it, don't want to do it, don't have the time for it, don't have the patience to learn it, so on and so forth. Offer your services. Offer your services. Yeah, audio editing is not the most fun thing. MG Stevens says, I use PayPal invoicing. Clients pay immediately because PayPal makes it easy for them. I love that about PayPal too. You need to factor in costs that PayPal charges you. I took Angela's suggestion and get half up front. Just remember with business, any site you sign up for that helps you in some respect is going to get a piece of the pie. That is the cost of doing business. And to MG's point, PayPal charges you a percentage to transfer the money for you. Understandably, everybody gets a piece, right? And I think it's 1% or something. It's not huge, but that's pretty common. It's pretty common across just about every useful platform or tool to help you with your business, right? But PayPal makes it super easy when you're sending an invoice, because you don't have to have a PayPal account to pay it. The client can pay it with a credit card, a debit card. They don't have to have PayPal to pay it, which is nice. Facebook user says, this is Colette. She says, horror Christmas stories, the great reindeer revolt. I love that. You need to write that story. Are you writing that story? You need to write that. Is that a story? Is that already an existing story? Oh my gosh. We just got another super chat. Hold on. I'm scrolling. Paximus. Thank you so much. That is so kind of you. Oh my goodness. Thank you. I am Paximus. I had to do it. If you're not following Paximus on TikTok, go do it. Merry Christmas, Angela. Thanks for all you do to help many people in their VO journey. You are so sweet, Paximus. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. Oh my gosh. Make me so emotional. Thank you, Paximus. Such a sweetheart. Caesar said, horror Christmas story. 'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring, because like everyone's a dead man. Glowin says, LOL. Oh my God. Oh, you need to write that story and then narrate it, Caesar. You have the perfect voice for that. Kamikaze says, hey, yeah, Angela. Hey, yeah, Cami, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. Casey Swan says, love your older shotgun mic technique. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Janelle G says, hey, Angela and Angelinians. I love working with indie authors. I do too. I love creating like that excitement of their first book and then the first audio book. That's just so exciting. And I love guiding them through the process. I love that. Thanks to you and our fantastic group. Yes. Oh, Janelle. Thank you. Masonry Construction says, everyone listening today can start a podcast channel. Absolutely. You have the equipment. Do it. Put it to use. There are free platforms and every episode becomes a voice sample. And that's a very simple way to offer your voice stylings to potential clients. Exactly. Philip Truitt says, thank you for all your help getting started. Oh, I'm so glad it helped. Leslie says at MG Stevens, yay, awesome. MG Stevens says, thank you, Leslie. Yes. Joy says, yes, I'm already prepared for the marathon in regards to getting ROI, and it's all good. Good attitude to have. The main thing is to keep at it no matter what. Go into workshops they offer and enjoy the journey. Absolutely. Well said, Joy. Joy says, did you know that part of TikTok's TOS grants the platform full rights to all content you post, including use of your image, video, and voice? It's why there is a law in the US against using it. Interesting. I think that pretty much goes across all social media platforms, though, right? It's not your content anymore. As soon as you post anything on the internet, it's not necessarily just your content anymore. It's kind of available to everybody. I think that's pretty much across the board, right? For social media, for posting content. I could be wrong, but I think that's It's the case. Masonry Construction, Joya would know. Masonry Construction says direct niche marketing requires you to know the keywords people are searching for. Keep it a narrow niche, as Angela said, or you'll get buried and never discovered. Good point. Good point. And then being the master in that niche, or mastering, getting, go down that rabbit hole of that niche, become a professional, a maestro at it. And then you'll start to see the verbiage, the lingo, the terminology, the keywords that are being used most often for that niche, and that'll help you find it. So I think niche marketing is definitely something to do. Old Slacker says exercise. That's it. I'm out. I'm with you. Ton of Questions podcast says just signed up for your Oh, good. Welcome. We'll look forward to meeting you on Thursday. Been thinking about it for a while and decided it's time to go for it. Oh, that's fabulous. Yay. Facebook user, this is Colette. She says, MG Stevens, congratulations. Yes, absolutely. Joy says, my next project for 2024 is getting my website together. Good for you. Good for you, Joy. Baby steps, baby. Old Slacker, little heart. Thank you. Glowen says to Brian, for ACX, I searched the site for my name and versions of it. Then I came up with the stage name. Same check, came up clean. Then Googled the stage name again. There you go. Stage name. Unless you're fine with, that's another reason why I always say whatever profile picture that you end up going with, keep it consistent across all platforms, the same profile picture. Because if somebody were to find you in one place and they see your profile picture and then they Google your name and then there's 3 different Brians, they see your profile picture and they go, okay, that's him. That's the guy I'm looking for. It's the same picture. Just another marketing trick, right? To help people find you. Masonry Construction says, Brian Mark Mitchell, include your middle name or maybe go with Brian X Mitchell. Oh, there you go. Brian X Mitchell. More unique. Old Slacker. Yes, I'm working on my first contract and have a lot of jitters. The platinum group you run looks very intriguing. I imagine it helps others with their fears and concerns a lot. I like to think so. I think with as supportive and encouraging and knowledgeable, we have so many different levels of expertise and backgrounds and training in our group and so many different aspects, right? More technical, more acting, more, performance. And the perspectives, everybody's so supportive and loving in that group. And when you're encouraging, and so when you're reading in front of 30 other people, it's a little bit intimidating, but we're so welcoming and encouraging that you're just like, okay, well, let me just get it done. And I think that once you start to get warmed up to the group, it's a great, I love everybody in that group. So I think it does. Because once you get done with reading in front of a bunch of other people and knowing that there's not going to be no one's going to be there to admonish you or tell you you're doing it all wrong. It's just all like constructive criticism and ways to help and improve. It makes it a lot easier to get in front of other people going forward because you already know where you started and where you are now, right? So you're not like all just self-conscious about what you're sounding like then. I hope that makes sense. I feel like my brain is oatmeal this morning. Old Slacker to Caesar says, I like it. Short, to the point. Old Slacker, thank you. I am Paxma says, thank you, Angela. Truly grateful for you. Embrace the emotion and stuff. and stuff. Thank you, Paxma. Dylan Holt to Old Slacker. It's an extremely supportive group. It is. Joya says, I learned why Audition users don't like editing their audiobooks. Thank the music industry gods for Reaper. I love audio editing. Don't be knocking on my Adobe Audition. I love Audition. I just don't like editing. I think it's just me, my personal preference. I don't like it, but it's part of the gig, right? Brian says, I think I should niche as a Hungarian frog princess. Okay, Brian, I'm going to tell you right now, this is something that we don't do. We don't put ourselves down. That's something we don't do. We don't put ourselves down on this channel. Not in my presence. We don't. You have a wonderful voice. Don't ever put yourself down. Brian. Old Slacker says to Dylan Holt, awesome. Thank you. JCC are a lot of horror Christmas stories. I'm sure they are. Isn't like Gremlins one of them? Not really horror, but we should have a channel of horror stories. Kamikaze says, hi. Was on a little hiatus on VO, but getting back to recording. Good for you. Miss being here. Missed you. If I'm not in the chat, I'll be lurking and listening. Cool beans. I like it. Facebook user says, this is Colette. I'd go with the real Brian Mark Mitchell. There you go. Will you please stand up? Ton of questions podcast says, social media content. You give permission for them to post and share. You still own rights. Okay. All right. Brian Mark Mitchell says, my name will be the Brian, the greatest voiceover frog Mitchell. Stop. No more frog stuff. Brian, we're going to have a conversation about this tomorrow. Facebook user. This is Colette. Old Slacker, the Platinum Group is fabulous. Supporting, loving, informational. It's great. Thank you, Colette. Joya says, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram have usage regulations to protect the content producer. While things can be cross-posted, the owner can request to have things removed from any of their platforms. I knew Joya would know. She knows everything. JCCAOL says, my apologies in regards to the previous post regarding a VO's journey. I inadvertently posted it and then tried to delete it. It's okay. It just looked like it was incomplete. I wasn't really sure what you were trying to say, but I think the post afterward made sense of it. Is that right? Okay. Well, oh God, it's 11 already. I think we've pretty much covered everything. And just use your common sense on these casting sites. Make sure that you read through all of the terms of service, that you read through the agreements. And this is pretty much common sense for just about any place that you're agreeing usage rights to, or not usage rights, where you're agreeing to abide by their rules, right? You want to understand what the rules are before you sign up on them. Understanding how you get paid, how you need to pay if there's membership fees, knowing that clicking on links is something that you don't want to do, especially like in the beginning messages where they're just reaching out to you for the first time. They're just saying, hey, here's a link with some information, figure it out and give me a quote. I wouldn't do that. I actually just did that this morning. And, the client had actually asked me, they said, I've been seeing this request an awful lot lately. Can you tell me why? And I had to explain to them because there is malware or viruses, sometimes even including with or within the documents that were sent. So if you could just copy and paste the script, especially if he's telling me it's 60 words, can you just copy and paste it into the chat and we'll go from there? Right? So just be careful in everything that you do. Think twice, especially and I've seen this scam a few times where the client will say, again, it's like a $2,000 budget for this, video game or whatever it is. Click the link to find all the information. Then you click the link and then boom, they've got all your information, or they Trojan horse your computer or something horrible. So don't just make it a practice to not click links. Again, it's a pain for the client, but if it's going to protect you, ultimately that's what's important. So just ask for them to copy and paste the script, or just to upload anything they need to upload to send you for the project. I feel like tangent's coming. Whoa, Nelly. And don't share personal contact information. The sites are designed to protect you and your privacy. Security, they have like security protections on a lot of these sites. Take advantage of those and I know there's clients and you want to build relationships with clients, but it's better to stay sort of anonymous within the sites, right? Just to do the business and move on. But if they do contact you outside of the sites, there's not really much you can do about that. But just don't give them that information on these sites. That's a big no-no. I think, was that pretty much everything that we had to cover today? I see a few more comments really quick. A ton of questions says, yes to Joy on social media content. Robert Reed is late and brought the donuts. Good man. Good man. I want the maple bar. I got dibs. Sunny's here. Hey, Sunny. Merry Christmas, y'all. Glowen says to JCC AOL, I watched the YouTube video as well as he made a lot of great points for us beginners. Anthony? Yeah, he's got great stuff. Leslie says, the Platinum Group is amazing. I've learned so much, and Angela and the members are supportive, and I couldn't imagine VO without their... Oh, you're so nice, Leslie. Joya says, TikTok won't remove anything and has used creators' images to sell cheap knockoff scammy stuff. Even YouTube has implemented privacy settings to remove content upon request. Ton of questions. Podcast says, Leslie, I can already feel what you ate, saying about the Platinum Group. Feel what you ate? I'm looking forward to Thursday. Oh, what you are saying, perhaps? Can you feel what she ate? Writer Dude says, as far as scams go, a good general rule, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Glowen says, gotta head out. Have a Merry Christmas, Angela and chat. Hope you all have a great holiday. Same to you, Glowen. Very happy holidays. Merry Christmas. MG Stevens says, Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you for sharing all your gifts and talents, Angela. Thanks, everyone. Same to you. Brian says to Masonry Construction, Brian X is my OnlyFans name. Tons of questions. Oh, snort. Tons of questions. Podcast says R. Yeah, I figured. Yeah, I fat finger stuff all the time. All right. Guys, I got to get rolling. But as always, it was a joy to be here. And I'm glad and thankful for all of you to spend some time with me and everyone else in the chat today. I appreciate that. And again, if you're watching this, if you're Team Replay, don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate that. And if there's something that you would like to discuss here with me and the group, then definitely put that in the comments down below. I appreciate it. Because again, that's what I'm here for. I'm here for you guys to answer questions the best that I can in the hopes that I can help in some way, shape, or form. And it's not just me. You've got 40, 50 other people that join these every week that can have valuable insights as well. So again, happy Christmas to all. Back to the dreaded editing. Thank you all. Yes, thank you all. And Merry Christmas. I'll see you guys all next week, and I will see you before next year. So Merry Christmas. I'll see you guys all next week. Bye. Thank you for listening to Sheelancer Mom Entrepreneur with VoiceOver Angela. That's me. For more information about me, visit my website, voiceoverangela.com, or hop on over to my YouTube channel, VoiceOver Angela. Again, thanks for listening. Have a great day.